Hey, shalom from Jewish Heritage Night for the Long Beach Coast. We're taking you into the press box at Blair Field for our beach ball pregame report. I'm Jesse Cook. This is Joey Miller. And Long Beach yesterday needed a revitalization. Well, they got it, ending the three-game losing skid.
It was well overdue. With this team, they were struggling to score early. They still did yesterday. Nobody has scored in the first 3 innings of either ball game here of this 3-game set against the Freebirds, and that's mostly because the starters have been excellent. Last night, Garrett Van Deventer did some solid work up until the 4th, giving up the first lead. It seems to be a trend that hopefully the Coast can break today, stopping the Freebirds from scoring first and just getting up and running right away.
Yeah, maybe they can give their starter, Nick Bautista, a little bit of help. Long Beach pitchers, on average this season, have received just under 5 runs of support per outing. It's the Pioneer League. Teams score a lot of runs, so you need a little bit more than that more often than not. That said, Nick Bautista is one of the most stellar starters on the roster. In his last 2 starts at home, he dealt 7 innings, striking out 9 batters each time. But let's move back to last night for just a moment. Most of the pregame report that we've got planned is actually focused on last night. But just for a moment, we're going to talk about last night. Spence Kaufman played a big role. We'll talk to him later. Matthew Bardowell, a big role. We'll talk to him later. Same deal with the pitching staff with Garrett Van Deventer and Gary Grosjean, who we'll also talk to later on the program. But how about Zach Volker? 15th save, tied up for 4th all-time in the Pioneer League.
And he did it on 4 outs as well, coming in the top of the 8th. Zach Volker, anytime he's out there, he just seems really comfortable, especially heading into this month of August. I know there was a moment of time in July where he blew a couple of saves. He was not looking like himself. Well, last night, he was getting that velo up there. We saw him top out at 96, and he was just on top of these batters.
Hey, Joey, you a fan of rap music at all?
A little bit.
Well, Zach Volker, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros in the bank for him because that's his 8th consecutive scoreless appearance. So great work for, they call him the Vulcanator. He terminated last night. Now let's talk about the batters. Matthew Bardowell first because he powered through in a big way to cap that huge 5-run 5th inning with that bases-clearing double.
And it was such a clutch situation for him to be in with 2 outs, needing to get ahead in that inning because it was a moment of the game where the Freebirds were threatening. They were scoring in multiple innings. They scored 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. They got the shutdown inning in the bottom of the 4th, so who's to say that wasn't going to be their last opportunity against Riley Egloff, who was then taken out of the game shortly after. Actually, no, that was Sean Weiss on the mound. I'll correct my statement. But still, Matthew Bardowell coming in huge with that line drive into left center. Showing off his speed, too.
Absolutely. He's got a quick bat, quick legs. Now, our friends down south here by about an hour and a half in San Diego might know about their native Ted Williams and his book, The Science of Hitting. Well, we're going to learn about the science of bat tapes with Matthew Bardowell, and we'll talk a little bit about what he did yesterday. Bardo, 3-run double yesterday. Feel good to be finally hitting at home once again?
Yeah, definitely good to be home. Definitely would say towards the back end of that road trip, starting to feel it a little bit. Definitely could tell the guys were itching to come home, so it's definitely good to be back.
And you made your debut back from the injured list in Ogden, so it's been almost a month since you actually played at Blair Field before this week. So was there any adjustment period getting used to your old digs once again?
Nah, the field just looks a little beat, but I mean, can't blame it. It's been used all year, so this is probably expected.
Yeah, the grass has been used, cleats are getting worn down, bats are breaking, but the one you're holding right there, that looks to be a brand new one. Yes. And I know I work in hockey during the off season. Every single hockey player has their own tape job on their sticks. You were taping up your bat here. What goes into your pattern?
It's pretty basic. I think I just do this pattern because when I was growing up playing MLB The Show, this was like one of the options you can do, and I always thought it was just like the coolest looking one. I definitely try to like line up the tape to make sure it's all looking synchronized and whatnot, but I would just say it's almost like laces on a football. I still want to feel the barrel, but I still want to have some grip, and that's what the tape provides.
And I know a lot of guys have those pre-wrapped bats. Have you ever done that?
Like the thick, like the skin. Yeah, I used to do that, but In junior college, I used to do that a lot, but those things start wearing out, and I didn't have a lot of money in junior college, so couldn't just keep forking out $15 and whatnot. So all the trainers have the athletic tape, so I just started to make adjustments.
And what type of measurements are we working with on your bat here? What do kids have to swing like you?
Oh, you know what? To be honest, it all starts with the mechanics. But I do swing a 34, 32. I know guys swing bigger bats. I think Aaron Judge is like a 35, 33. Troy Gloss, he was a 35, 35 when he played, which I think's a lie, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, to each its own,
Do you think it helps to hit the ball further to swing a heavier bat?
For sure. The more dense wood you have behind that ball, definitely the farther it's going to go.
All right, and one last thing, trying to win the series against Yuba-Sutter today. Last meeting with these guys. What's the key?
We're going for blood. That's the key.
Going for blood. Thanks, Bardo. I don't know if I ever put that much thought into how I adjusted the tape on my bat, which is probably why I'm up here.
I mean, it's a big talent for how to wrap a bat. I know that when I was in high school, I had an old school coach of mine wrap it for me. I tried wrapping it myself, actually recently, a couple of months ago. It's tough. You got to line it up right. You got to make sure nothing's fraying from the side, and it really has to provide the right amount and even amount of comfort for you to be able to not blister when you're swinging through those pitches.
And what do you think about what Bardowell said to end the interview there? He's out for blood.
Well, I'd hope to see it because we have not seen a home run of him in the month of August here at Blair Field, but it's nothing that he can't do. He's already gotten double-digit home runs. It's the first time in his baseball career at any level that he's had double-digit home runs in a single season, and he's just going up from here.
And that definitely helps out the pitching staff. Garrett Vandeventer yesterday left in line for the win, thanks to Matthew Bardowell's big bases-clearing double. Gary Grosjean ends up earning the victory. Those two guys, we know they're good friends, Joey.
Yes, and we see them on the bus when we were going to Modesto playing their video game. I think they play Call of Duty on the bus. They're maybe a little addicted to that game, if you ask me, but they do it well on the mound, too. They get their somewhat 4 hours of sleep, maybe more. I don't know.
More?
I don't know.
Less.
They still find a way to balance their time and dominate on the mound as they did last night.
Absolutely, and we talked to those guys about what it means to be playing together again, to be roommates again, and to help each other out for a big win. Hey, I got two guys here, Gary Vandeventer, Gary Grosjean. Yesterday you both pitched. You get the start. Nobody's beating you at home. Yesterday you were in the win. How cool is it for you guys to be playing together again, Gary?
Personally, I love it. Been really good friends with Vandy. It was a pleasure getting to play with him last year, so excited to have him back.
And Vandy, you didn't start the season with the Coast, so you joined later. What kind of conversations were going on to get you with this team?
It was just, what do I have to do to get here? I was in touch with Gary and even Coach Percival, just trying to figure out how to get here and help the Coast, just push for a championship this year.
So this guy played a role in getting you out here?
Slightly, yeah. He said just keep texting him, keep asking, do you need an arm? Do you need an arm? And eventually the answer was yes.
So what was your reaction when the contract finally got signed and the ink dried for Vandy?
I was just there to pick him up at the airport. That's all I was there to do. I kind of knew obviously the ability speaks for itself, so I was just waiting for kind of the right place, right time, and then let me know when you're going to be here. I'll grab you.
So how about that car ride back from, was it LAX?
No, it was just Long Beach, local. So it was about an 8-minute drive, so it was easy.
So how about that car ride back, though? What were you guys talking about? Were you just giddy to see each other again?
Yeah, I think there's a giddiness of it. I played overseas, and so we made jokes about how far away we were at one point, and now we're back playing together. So it was just all good talks.
And Gary, you weren't healthy by the time that Vandy started pitching here for the Coast. So when you finally saw him get back out onto a mound as your teammate, how cool was that for you?
It was awesome. I mean, every time Gary has the ball, he's going to go out there and put everything on the line. So, hated seeing him be hurt and everything, but to see him come back, just stay with it, it was really good to see him, come in the game after me.
And what does it mean to you to have games like yesterday where you start, Gary plays a role in finishing things off?
Oh, they're great. We always joke about, every time we take the mound, trying to move as fast as possible. Gary's got the velocity over me, so we just, I really enjoy all the jokes that we make, and then getting to go out and compete together is a lot of fun.
Did those jokes lead to learning things from each other?
I would say they have to. I mean, we talk a lot about baseball just off the field, but more or less him how to throw as hard as he can, and for me, hopefully he can teach me how to pitch a little bit better. So yeah, we bounce things off each other.
And since you guys are roommates, I was wondering about who's better at different things. So first of all, just rapid fire here. Who's cleaner?
I would have to say it's pretty close, but I think I'm going to take the win on that.
It's extremely close. No one's dirty. I think he's the cleanest roommate I've ever had, and I'm a neat freak. So I'll give you the win, but in all respect, yeah, very clean.
All right, better driver.
Me.
I don't have my car, so he wins by default.
Yeah, that would help. That would help. All right, better cook.
If we were to cook,
I don't think we've had that test yet.
That's a complete toss-up. I'll give it to you because I'm not uber confident in my abilities, but I don't know if you are.
If you were to cook, would you be better?
I think I would, because I cooked last year in Idaho Falls. We were also roommates there, and I cooked at the house all the time.
Okay, so win to Gary?
No, win to
Or
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, win to Garrett, yeah.
Garrett and Gary, anybody like get you guys confused based on that?
It's Gary Bear and Gary Bear. Oh, both of our nicknames Gary Bear.
Childish nickname.
All right, and last one here. I know this is a loaded question. Who's better at video games?
Not close.
Gary by far.
Not close, yeah, he's right. He's right.
You changed your walk-up music, though, so what happened? Are you losing confidence in your gaming ability?
No, not at all. It was just it was more of a one-time thing that happened to reoccur a couple times. So I was just gonna have it for one game, and then I pitched well, and I was like, until I don't pitch well, I got to change it. So
are we ever going to get back to the Call of Duty theme?
I don't want to say yes, but I won't say no. Maybe in the playoffs.
And lastly, Vandy, what do you think of his music choices for his walk-in music?
Could not be any better. I love it. Absolutely love it.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck. Those guys are freaking hilarious. That was a lot of fun talking to them. So we found that they're both clean. Neither one really cooks right now, but Van Deventer did most of the cooking last year. Gary is the only one with a car, so he's the better driver. And both Gare Bears, as they called each other, have agreed that Gary Grosjean is definitely the master of the video games. But yesterday, the master of the field was one of the newcomers, Spence Kaufman. We talked about Bardwell's big hit. Well, Spence Kaufman has been tearing the cover off the baseball. 4 RBIs yesterday. He's 5 for 9 on the series. And oh yeah, he only rolled into town on Monday.
And he's found an immediate comfort here as well in this lineup. He talked to Troy Gloss his very first day, talking about some minor things that he can adjust, but he's already a very talented hitter, and that's the reason that he was once in a Padres affiliate spot at Lake Elsinore before getting cut and coming to the Pioneer League last year. But he has really found a home here right away. Jacob Jablonski, Anthony Mata have been welcoming him to the middle infield where he's made some stellar defensive plays, and now he's getting it done in clutch moments. And I think Blair Field really has started to join in on the walk-up song. Who you gonna call Spence Kaufman?
Well, Ryan Sanders, our in-game host, talked to him yesterday, and who are we going to call?
Spence Kaufman.
Take a listen.
Fans, here with your player of the game, Spence Kaufman. Welcome to Long Beach, bud. Your first week here, already making an impact. How do you feel to be able to time with a team that's already you're going to play such a huge role in the NFL?
It's just a great place to play baseball. We got a great team here. I'm excited to get into
Yes, I'm recording.
So you did some major damage tonight, 3 for 4 RBIs, you came up to bat, bases loaded, 6th inning, tie ball game. What are you looking for there? What's your goal right now?
Just put it hard somewhere, and luckily I did that.
And you did that well, so thank you so much. Congratulations, Spence Kaufman, everybody.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Spence Kaufman, what a day yesterday. Man, and boy, does he look good in a Coast jersey, Joey.
Yeah, and I think when he first got here, he was excited to explore. Obviously, he hasn't had a lot of time to do so since coming off the plane from wherever the Red Pocket Mobiles were. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to ask him. But Spence Modesto. But he has been situated. He's been able to put his bags down and just leave them there, as he will be able to do for the rest of this homestand. But we got some business to attend to, because right now we are in a tie, heading into a rubber match between the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds and the Long Beach Coast. I'm Joey Miller, alongside me Jesse Cook. We're going to get ready for the final game, the 25th and final game of the Battle of the Birds. Yes, the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds, who have been in the Pioneer League now for 3 years, one of the first California expansion teams playing against one of the newest California expansion teams. And the Freebirds have been no joke. They did take game one of this series a major way, 11-4, and they were still threatening last night, having scored first, getting a 3-0 lead. But then Long Beach got it figured out in the bottom of the fifth after the starter, Riley Egloff, left. I can confirm that it was some arm tightness that drew him off the mound. He threw 8 pitches in that bottom of the fifth. That was the start of the downfall for when Sean Weiss came into the game, allowing Spence Coffin to get the runs on the board, then allowing Matthew Bardowell to punch ahead, as you just heard in the Beach Ball pregame report. Some Freebirds lineup to attend to. It'll be Zabros leading things off, as he has all series long. However, he's only had 1 hit, and that 1 hit was what got the Freebirds on top first in the series opener with the home run. Followed by Jordan Donahue, who did not appear yesterday. He's going to be at second base. Cooper Hext in the 3 spot, followed by Zach Chamizo. Andrew Kirchner is the 4th lefty in a row of the starting 5 of Frank Gonzalez's lineup. Kyle Carlson will make his first start and his first appearance since a pitch-hitting role on Tuesday. Diego Aragon making his first appearance as well since Tuesday. And then Devin Dixon and Isaac Nunez rounding out that lineup. Isaac Nunez, who has been in a bit of a slump as of late, he tells me it felt good to barrel one up. And I'm sure for Gary Grosjean, it did not feel as good to have him barrel that one up. Those two faced off against each other when Grosjean was with the Chuckers, Nunez was with the Jackalopes, and now they see 2 new teams and a bit of a newer rivalry with Nick Bautista taking the mound now. Nick Bautista, a 5-3 record, coming off of his 3rd loss, that second loss in a Long Beach uniform, I should clarify. Also, the most amount of runs that he's given up in a single appearance. That was his last appearance in Glacier. The Range Riders got 7 off of him, 10 hits in 4 innings of work. But he had a win and a loss on the road. He's going to try and get back into shape here in lower altitude, where he's had a lot of success with his secondary pitches, specifically that sinker and slider outside of his 4-seam fastball, which is just as great. And if he can get back into sorts, he can do what Garrett Van Deventer did yesterday. He can do what Jack Martin did on Tuesday, get a clean first 3, and see if he can get some run support a little earlier.
Well, it would definitely be nice for Long Beach to start off on the right foot, because that has been a problem of late. We talked about it during the pregame report, but 0 runs during the first 3 innings does not help any of these pitchers. And even out in Ogden, they definitely struggled in the last game that we had a broadcast for, that second leg of the Thursday doubleheader. It took till the 3rd inning for Long Beach to score. And in that Tuesday ball game, another contest where Long Beach goes without a run in each of the first 3 innings. So if Long Beach can give Nick Bautista some run support, he desperately needs it. So far this season, he's been issued 5.9 runs of support per start.
Well, at the beginning of the year, the middle 3 innings were the lowest amount of runs scored per capita for the Coast, and now it's the most at 227 of the 661 runs that the Coast have scored in their first 74 games. Here's Game 75. Zabros will lead things off in this righty-on-righty matchup Bautista with the leg lift, and Rose sends one out to left on the first pitch, back towards the wall. A leaping grab from Pelk. He crashes into the wall and brings it down for out number 1. What an exciting way to start off this ball game with a web gem from Pelk.
Well, he got a very good look at that ball. We know that Eddie Pelk is definitely a fast player, and we also know from his 97 walks that he has an impeccable eye, and he just kept feeling for the wall there, gave himself some good space, making sure that he knew exactly where he was.
It looked like Rose got a good piece of that swing. Almost looked like it might have even left the yard, but first pitch misses outside to Jordan Donahue. Finally finding the glove of David Whittle, and let's get you a defensive arrangement right now. As you know, Eddie Pelk in left field, Emilio Corona in center, and Matthew Bardowell in right, the standard 3 in the outfield. Bautista misses further outside for a 1-1 count. 1 out here in the top of the first. Around the horn in the infield, Benjamin Rosengard at third. Anthony Mata back at short. He started yesterday. He left the game early after an error that led to the third run of the game for the Freebirds. A swing and a miss. And Bautista ahead of the count now, 1-2. On the right side of the infield, it's Spence Kaufman at second, the hero of the past couple of nights, especially last night. And Jacob Jablonski at first base. Normally we don't see him there. He's going to try his hand at the other hot corner. David Whittle catches the second ball outside. He's the battery mate of Nick Bautista. This is the first time we've seen David Whittle this series. Bautista gets comfortable on the first base side of the rubber. 2-2 skips in the coal mine for ball 3.
And you mentioned Jacob Jablonski, this being his start at first base, an unusual position for him. It's only his second time doing it this season, but the last one was on Friday out in Glacier.
A payoff pitch due up next to Jordan Donahue. Here's that pitch off the end of the bat towards the on-deck circle. Not really the on-deck circle, but it's where Cooper Hext is standing, kind of close to home plate. There is a large distance between the on-deck circle and home plate, so maybe he's just trying to get a couple steps further towards the plate. Trying to read Bautista's pitches closer to the catcher, Whittle. Another foul ball, third base side. 7 pitches and still a 3-2 count. Nick Bautista again with the payoff pitch. It's fouled back. If you're wondering why we're cracking up here, it's because whoever's running the sound, I believe is that Jeff Liffman? Yes, our organist here on Jewish Heritage Night. We're gonna play some funny sounds, and he got us there. So props to you.
Yeah, was that "Let My People Go" from? That wouldn't have been from the Prince of Egypt, but
Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Maybe.
I may be way off there. 3-2 in the air. In the right side of the infield, Jablonski calls for ball and gets the ball on out number 2.
I was waiting for on the Eddie Pelk catch, a Nes Gadol Hayam Shah. Great thing happened there. The reasoning for the letters on the dreidel.
A miracle happened there, and a miracle happened here at Blair Field for out number 1. Now 2 outs. In the top of the first, Cooper Hext. Bats from the left side, the center fielder for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds, who are wearing the black tops today for the first time this series with the red trim. The Coast in their standard cream-colored uniform with the teal accents. A breaking ball is swung atop by Cooper Hext for an 0-1 count. Bautista from the stretch, the 0-1. Bunt laid down up the third baseline, barehanded by Bautista, has to get it off quick. It's not going to be there in time for an infield single, the first hit of the day for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. Beautiful bunt that surprised the infield on 2 outs nonetheless. Cooper Hext, who came into that at-bat, a .333 batting average. He went 3 for 9 prior. That's his 4th hit of the series. But he came into this series also batting .333, so his average has not moved. Maybe that just bumped it up a little bit. Hext heads for second on the pitch that misses outside to Zach Chamizo, and the ball gets away from Mata. Otherwise, that was a pretty on-the-money throw. It might have also hit Hext as he gets himself a stolen base and into scoring position.
Well, laterally, that was a very on-target throw, but it hopped just a little too late. You might want to bounce it shortly before the bag to help apply the tag, but Whittle's throw had a little too much power under it for Mata to be positioned well enough for it.
That is Hext's second stolen base in a Freebirds uniform. He came from the Frontier League, the Tri-City Valley Cats. Second pitch misses outside to Chamizo. He's in the DH role tonight. He was at second base for the last 2 nights, where he's gone 1 for 7 with a walk and an RBI. He does lead the team in RBI. Has a chance to get one here right away. Fastball waved on and missed for strike 1. Chamizo, one of the more dominant bats that for the Freebirds has been there since day one, and not many people on this roster can say that, as it has been a bit of a revolving door, especially when it comes to the arms out of Frank Gonzalez's pen. Pitch misses outside with some arm side run from Bautista, who's got a hitter's count on Zach Chamizo. Hext with a conservative lead off of second. Here's the 3-1. It misses low, and there's the first walk of the game. Now 2 base runners aboard for the Freebirds. Lost the count early there, and Chamizo takes advantage of good plate discipline. Here's Andrew Kirchner, who's had a fantastic series so far. Very similar to the series that Spence Kaufman has had. 5 hits in this series in 8 at-bats. He's the right fielder today out of Cal State Fullerton. He takes the fastball outside and high. Bautista keeping his fastball away from these lefty hitters. Kirchner also a power threat for the Freebirds. Sends this one in the air towards right field. Bardwell under it. And the other Cal State Fullerton Titan makes the grab on his college teammate for out number 3. Leaves 2 stranded. No runs here in the top of the first for Bautista. Now the Coast will have a chance at the plate. When we come back, you're listening to the Coast on the Coast Media Network.
Yes, where is Derek?
Bottom of the first, Bautista comes close, but by a slim margin escapes without allowing a run. And now it's going to be Luke Ridley in his second professional start for the Freebirds. His first one did not go his way. He took the loss against Oakland last Friday in just 2 2/3 of an inning. He's going to face off against Eddie Pelk, who started off the game defensively and on the first pitch of the game robbed Zeb Rose of extra bases on a crash into the wall. He's behind 0-1. Pelk on the ground to the second baseman, Donahue, for out number 1.
We've seen Eddie get very aggressive this entire season on the first pitch that he likes. There he waits on a first pitch strike and then attacks. I feel like every now and then when he starts behind an account, he gets this mentality that he has to swing at any pitch that's close to the zone, even if it's not the most hittable pitch.
Well, I know that he's working up his hit count to try and keep his hits above his walk count. First pitch misses high to Spence Kaufman, who, as we mentioned, is 5 for 9 in his first 2 games in a Long Beach uniform. Takes a breaker for strike 1. Eddie Pelk currently at 99 hits with 97 walks as well. Kaufman in front of an off-speed, fouls it into home plate, and he's behind 1-2. While Pelk has already surpassed the Pioneer League single-season record for walks, he is a ways away from the modern era hits in a single season. I believe that's around 130. I'll confirm for you in just a second, but first, Spence Kaufman takes a pitch low, again on the breaking ball from Ridley, who rocks with a 3-pitch count. 4-seam, curve, and change. Pretty straightforward set for the rookie. Fastball below the knees. Kaufman gets his way into a full count. Ridley out of West Georgia. Kaufman on the ground up the third baseline. It's going to need to be a quick throw from Nunez, and it just gets him in time. The former teammate of Spence Kaufman cuts Kaufman short of an infield single, and there's out number 2.
Well, that was a fantastic play by Nunez at third because he had to charge in and throw off balance across his body, but he carried his momentum forward so that when he whipped his arm around, there was no aberration for him to fall off balance. Still, that's all talent.
Well, we mentioned the hits record. 159 is the modern era record in a single season. I can tell you who leads the league in modern era history in batting average. That's this guy, Benjamin Rosengard, who takes strike 1. Last year batted .463 for the Idaho Falls Chuckers. Chucks one towards the left side for strike number 2. He is promoted tonight's particular night at the ballpark, Jewish Heritage Night. He played for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic, a couple of games. Takes the next pitch high for ball 1. We just saw Derek the Parrot with a yarmulke and a tallis.
And he was being hoisted in a chair for the horror.
Well, he is not 13 yet. He's only a couple months old. Not yet a man.
Well, I'm not sure about that because the lore states that he saw how great Long Beach was and decided to descend upon Blair Field. So I think it's indeterminate, but you know what? Now he has been turned into a man.
It is officially his Bach mitzvah. 1-2 to Rosengard. Another foul ball into the kid zone on the third base side.
Although I guess in baseball you could turn a bat mitzvah into a bat mitzvah.
And he'll need to put a mitzvah into a swing here as he's gone 0 for his last 7, 1 for 9 on the series. Rosengard went 0 for 5 last night. The Chicago, Illinois native has a righty on the mound. The lefty fouls another pitch just above the backstop behind home plate. That is now 6 pitches into this at-bat and still a 1-2 count. With 2 outs and the bases clear here in the bottom of the first, no score in this rubber match game. 1-2 off the handle and again tallied back. 4 foul balls. Our organist Jeff Liffman playing Hotline Bling. Another famous Jew, Aubrey Drake Graham. 1-2, breaking ball. Waits back on it and gets it into left center. And Rosengard starts his day off strong with a single.
Shall we say Mazel Tov?
Shalom to Benjamin Rosengard in the hit category.
L'chaim.
Yes, to life and to Benjamin Rosengard, who keeps this inning alive. Emilio Corona, who has entered the hit column quite often in the past couple of weeks. He's going to try and carry on this bottom of the first. Now with a base runner on. He's got plenty of hits against the Freebirds, the most, as a matter of fact, for any Long Beach coaster. 32 in the prior 24 games. He takes the first pitch for strike 1. 21 games played prior to this one. And the California native takes the next pitch outside for ball 1. Out of San Luis Obispo. 1-1, and it catches Rosengard off guard, but the pickoff gets away from the first baseman Carlson. It's going to be a 2-base error on the throw there by Ridley. And now the first potential run of this game is just 90 feet away.
Well, Yasher Koach. That's Hebrew for good job. Rosengard elicits a throw, and it's not the position you want to be in, but once the ball gets by in a stroke of good luck, he finds his way over to third.
So a 1-1 count on Corona. Swings through a fastball high at 90. Now he's behind 1-2. 90's right around where Ridley tends to top off at. His fastball around 88 to 90. The 1-2, fastball over the plate, freezes Emilio Corona, and Rosengard stays put at third. So no score here in the first. We'll send it to the second with Bautista back on the mound when we come back on the Coast Media Network. Into the second we go. A couple of matzo balls on the board. No score with Nick Bautista on the mound. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, and despite Benjamin Rosengard getting a 2-out single and all the way around to third, The Coast come up Bubkiss on the attempt there after a backwards K for Emilio Corona. And now Kyle Carlson takes the first pitch for strike one. Carlson, his second appearance of this series, had a pinch hitting role on Tuesday in the bottom of the eighth where he grounded out to the shortstop. And he swings through the next pitch at 91. Can't catch up to the fastball. Quickly, he's behind 0-2. Bautista fell in a lot of counts his first time on the mound in his first inning of work. Now he's hoping to turn that on this second inning of work. A foul ball, first base side, and out of play. Kyle Carlson out of Marietta, Georgia, in his rookie season out of Piedmont University. Oh, 2 misses inside. Tried to jam him there, like the center of a Hamantashen. If you're not getting these references, by the way, it's Jewish Heritage Night. I'm trying to throw in some zingers there. The 1-2 in the air to left center, shallow. Pelk is called off by Corona. He makes the grab for out number 1.
This may be controversial, but I am anti-jam in a Hamantash.
Well, you just don't like jam in general.
Exactly, but chocolate or, say, like a sweet poppy seed
Lemon
mix
poppy seed, yeah.
makes a very good filling for it.
I do enjoy a good poppy seed bagel or a lemon poppy seed Hamantashen. We are far ways away from Purim, though. Diego Aragon, who has likely never celebrated Purim, steps up to the plate here. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1.
There's lots of good food on which to nosh associated with Jewish holidays. I heard rumblings that there may be matzo ball soup in the ballpark.
Ah, I hope they send us up some. Aragon slashes a foul ball towards his dugout on the third base side. A 1-1 count. Started on Tuesday, left the game a jammed finger on a Rosengard foul tip. Made him fall out of the game, and yesterday Max Ortega took his spot. Usually he catches for Riley Egloff, who was the starter yesterday. Aragon goes the other way on a pop fly to Eddie Pelk. There's out number 2. Devin Dixon now to the plate, who has been in the 9 spot for the first 2 games. Gets bumped up a spot in the series finale. No score here in the top of the second. Devin Dixon out of Phoenix, Arizona, formerly of the Great Falls Voyagers. Rips a line drive through the left side, and it's a 2-out single for Devin Dixon. That's his first hit of the series. Went 0 for 7 over the past 2 nights. Second hit for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds and the third base runner. Now here's Isaac Nunez, who was a difference maker for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds last night. His third home run, over 400 feet on the blast to center field. That tied up the game at the time at 5, and now a pickoff move, a good one at that, and Bautista does not get the call there. The umpire crew, by the way, Keith Gibbs behind home plate, Ryan Blayberg, the crew chief there at first, and Gary Gilman at third. A pitch has yet to be fired to Nunez, who holds a bright red bat above his head and takes strike 1 on the first offering from Bautista. Nunez made a great play to cut down Spence Kaufman the very previous half inning. And now a fastball with some late inside run clips the edge of the zone for strike 2. Bautista just a pitch away from putting up another 0 on the board. 0-2 fouled back to the netting. Count remains the same on the Altamonte Springs native. Moved a couple of places in his life. Has lived in New York, now lives in Tennessee with his wife. 0-2 count in the air. Foul territory. Jablonski by his dugout. He has room to make the catch for out number 3. Bring out the Soufgagnon, a couple of jelly-filled donuts for Nick Bautista to start off his outing here in the month of August. No score heading into the bottom of the second. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Coast on the Coast Media Network. Bottom of the second, and Jacob Jablonski, who finished out the top of the second on a fly out by his dugout, pops on a helmet, grabs his batting gloves, and now he's going to go at it for his first plate appearance against Luke Ridley. No score to speak of, with Bautista and Ridley keeping things calm despite allowing a couple of base runners. And Ridley misses outside to Jablonski, batting from the left side. He's a switch hitter. 1 for 4 this series with 3 strikeouts as well as 3 walks. Swings hard at a breaking ball, the curve ball there, rather changeup. A 1-1 count on tonight's first baseman. Takes the next pitch outside for ball 2. Ridley rocks and fires that 1-2, rather 1-1, misses outs, now hits. It is a 2-2 count. Large gap up the middle with the shift applied on the right side. He hits it to the right side, but it goes foul up the right field line.
Jablonski has a very long swing. Takes him a while to get his bat around, but he does it with enough power and torque to hit his huge home runs, but it leads him to be late on some of these pitches, and it also causes him to uppercut when he tries to speed it up. So I'd love to see him shorten his swing here.
2-2 again to Jablonski, misses high, and outside as well. A 3-2 count. The difference between Bautista and Ridley that I'm noticing right away is that Ridley's working up these counts. Longer battles with his batsmen. Loses this one on a walk, his first on the night. And that brings up Matthew Bardwell, who got the Coast's first lead of this series last night. With the bases loaded, 2 outs. Sent a line drive into left center and cleared up the bases for 3 ribbies. Now he's going to try and start something here. Takes a called strike on the fastball. Bardwell, the tall right fielder from Fontana, California. Swings at another fastball high and outside. The 0-2 fouled back. And Bardwell's just trying to make some contact on these fastballs that Ridley has been challenging Bardwell with high in the zone. He is a fastball hitter. Oh, 2 down into right field by the warning track, and Kirchner returns the favor on Bardwell and makes out number 1. Why I say that is because Kirchner, in his at-bat, hit one to Bardwell. They're college teammates at Cal State Fullerton, formerly of Cal State Fullerton, and now they exchange F9s. Cooper Vest gets the half day off. The DH steps in for his first plate appearance. And Vest, the lefty, takes the first pitch, change up low. Cooper Vest, 1 hit yesterday. He went 1 for 5, but did get an RBI on a bases-loaded walk. And now here goes Jablonski down to second, slides under the tag. It was a swing and a miss for Cooper Vest. Jablonski gets a stolen bag and gets himself into scoring position. Ridley looks back at him. And Ridley misses high and outside for ball 2. For Jablonski, that's his 15th stolen bag. Not something at the top of what we would usually talk about in his 5-tool set. Cooper Vest fouls to the third base side, and it's over the net. And Isaac Nunez stuck up his glove despite the ball falling way out of play, or at least out of his viewpoint. Two and 2 count on Cooper Vest. Jablonski dancing off of second as Vest takes high and outside. Another full count. 2 of the 3 batters that Luke Ridley has faced. We talked about how he only went 2 2/3 innings in his first appearance against Oakland, where he gave up 5 runs, all earned, in his first professional loss. 3-2, half swing and a miss. Jams up Cooper Vest inside. And there is his second strikeout for out number 2. The first was to Emilio Corona. That was his first professional strikeout. He had no strikeouts in his first professional outing. And already he has 2 here in his second. David Whittle will be the last hope to score the first run of the game for the Coast here in the bottom of the second. No score. And Whittle takes inside. The Moreno Valley, California native had his first hit against the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. This being his 4th game played against the Marysville-based Pioneer League team. 1-0, swing and a miss. And a fastball high. That seems to be his chase pitch there, working well. Ridley now an even 1-1 count. And that first hit for David Whittle was an important one a grand slam over the left field wall just about a month ago. Another swing and a miss at that fastball that right now Bardwell, now Whittle, has not seemed to be able to catch up to. Only one hit for the Long Beach Coast. That was Benjamin Rosengard on 2 outs back in the first. Now here we are with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. There's the third strike. A wave and a miss for back-to-back strikeouts. Ridley has 3 through his first 2 innings of work. Still no score heading into the third. You're listening to The Coast on the Coast Media Network. No score through 2, as has been the trend for all 3 games of this series. It was the first 3 innings in back-to-back nights where neither the Coast nor the Freebirds put up a run until the 4th. Now Nick Bautista is going to hope to follow that trend, still waiting on some run support. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, and the top of the lineup, Zeb Rose for the Freebirds, takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. He did not do that on the first pitch that he turned on off of Nick Bautista, sending it to the left field wall for an impressive out number 1 catch by Eddie Pelk, the other leadoff. 1-1, slider misses outside for ball 2. I've compared Zeb Rose to Eddie Pelk in terms of their plate approach, their plate discipline, the fact that they're both leadoffs who have had 60 straight games on base in a single season and at that exact number. And Rose is going to call for a challenge on a pitch that misses low, so it's going to be overturned. Zeb Rose was unsuccessful with the one challenge that he had yesterday. They went 0 for 2 and ran out of challenges early. So now a 3-0 count on Rose. But this time hits the zone for sure. Middle out to the St. Louis native. Rose now 1 for 8 on the series. That one was the first lead for the Freebirds back on Tuesday, a home run. His second in a Freebirds uniform. Takes another called strike. And now Rose will need to be protective. Bautista comes set at the belt. Here's the payoff pitch. Misses low and inside for a walk. Nick Bautista's second. And a very fast base runner is on base. Zeb Rose broke the modern era record for the now defunct Jackalopes last year, a single season stolen base record. I believe he had over 50. to my recollection. Jordan Donahue will try and carry on this trend for the Freebirds. But first, a throw over to first. Catches Rose sleeping on the pickoff move by Bautista. And there's out number one to clear up the bases. So no need to talk about the stolen base threat. That is Zeb Rose. Gets himself out.
And that is the second time that Long Beach pitching over the last couple of weeks has made a move like that to nab a base runner. Really strong pickoff move there after, I believe it was Garrett Vandeventer yesterday who had a similar play.
So clear bases and a clear count still for Donahue. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball right over Main Street.
And it was Rose yesterday who was picked off.
Well, if you're Rose, you got to challenge somehow, but you also got to stay aware. He didn't for those two instances. Donahue fouls it to the third base side. Now behind 0-2, he popped up to Jacob Jablonski on the infield. His first time up after a long battle. 9 pitches in that first at-bat. Sends one into left field. Hangs for Pelk for out number 2. And now Bautista, for the first time tonight, has a chance to face the minimum if he can get Cooper Hext out. He was surprised by a bunt single that he tried to make a close play at first, but Hext was booking it up the line. We mentioned Hext out of the Tri-City Valley Cats. Started the season with in the Frontier League. Misses a fastball high. And there's strike one. Bautista following that trend of getting ahead of the count now over his past 2 batters. No score in the top of the third. 2 outs now for the Freebirds. And now 2 strikes on another swing and a miss. This time he challenged the fastball closer to the zone, lower and a little outside. But it fooled Hext all the same as he calls for time. Takes a deep breath. Now steps back into the back of the left-handed batter's box. All the way with his foot on the back chalk. 0-2. Tried to frame it low and outside. Whittle moved over to his left, but did not get the call there, that spot. It did, in fact, miss outside. Bautista, the 1-2. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball for his first punch out of the night. Through the first 3 for the starter Bautista. No score heading into the bottom of the third here on the Coast Media Network. Bottom of the third, Luke Ridley is going to try and leapfrog over his first outing where he could not get the third out of his third inning of work against the Ballers in his first professional outing and loss. But first he's going to have to face off against the 9-1-2 spots for the Coast, trying to get on the board first for the first time this series. It's been the Freebirds over the past 2 nights, specifically in the top of the fourth. Mata gets a line drive into center field and falls for a base hit, his first of the series. He only had 1 at-bat yesterday where he grounded out, and now he gets himself into the hit column here at Blair Field in the month of August. Eddie Pelk now to the plate. We talked about how he's been attacking more. In the first half, he got the walks record in a single season. Mata has a good jump towards second, and he's going to get there safely on an errant throw by Aragon. Now he takes third. It goes over the head of Nunez and into the dugout to score the first run of the ball game. I believe that should be 2 errors.
Yes, so it's a stolen base with 2 errors.
Once on the throw by Aragon, and once on the throw, I believe, by the center fielder, Hext. You'll see here on the replay, it bounces in the dirt, nowhere near Dixon, and yes, the throw there by Hext. Airmails Isaac Nunez. It's 1-0 Coast. Eddie Pelk takes another pitch outside. By the way, that first pitch was a ball, and now it's a 2-0 count on Pelk. 3-0 now. Pelk has not needed to take the bat off of his shoulders after all of the excitement.
That is the first time since Friday that Long Beach has scored within the first 3 innings.
And that 3-0 hits the plate on the changeup at 87. To put Pelk back into hitter's mode. The 3-1 outside for ball 4. That's 98 for Eddie Pelk. Just 2 away from becoming the first in Pioneer League history to triple digits.
And we were talking earlier today, speculating on what would happen first, 100 hits or 100 walks. 1 away in the hit column, now 2 away in the free pass area.
Doesn't get the RBI. He had no way of getting the RBI, but now here's Frank Gonzalez, who comes out to the mound. He did pull Ridley early last time in the third, but I think he's just going to give some words of advice to Luke Ridley. Frank Gonzalez, a Colorado native, who I'm told is moving out of Colorado soon, heading to Savannah, Georgia. So wish him safe travels. He was with the Northern Colorado Owls for his first couple of seasons in the Pioneer League after spending 10 years in the farm system with the Colorado Rockies at all levels. Now the meeting is adjourned for Spence Kaufman, whom was once managed by Frank Gonzalez. Kaufman, when he was cut by Lake Elsinore, hit up Robbie Bales, the hitting coach currently for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds, on LinkedIn, saying, hey, do you need a hitter? And now he hits this one into left field for another base knock. He's perfect in 3 games with a hit, his 6th in a Long Beach uniform, now 6 for 11. Eddie Pelk advances to second. Here's Rosengard, who made his way into the hit column. Went all the way around to third in the first on 2 outs. Now there's been 3 errors for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds right now, who now trail 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Rosengard bunts it to the pitcher Ridley, underhands to first to advance both runners into scoring position, both lead runners. Out number one on the sacrifice. That'll bring up Emilio Corona. Corona was the victim of Ridley's first professional strikeout to end the first and leave Rosengard stranded at third. Donahue working closer towards the second base bag, despite the trail runner not taking a significant lead. It's going to be a challenge on a ball that misses high and outside. A challenge there by Aragon. And it's going to be a failed challenge for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. That is their fourth failed challenge of the series. They went 1 for 2 the first night, 0 for 2 just last night, and now they're 1 for 2 with one remaining. A hard frozen rope into center field. Cooper Hext will try and get it in quickly, but it's going to cash in a run. Emilio Corona with the sacrifice fly doubles the lead, 2-0. Kaufman stays put at second base. Couple of sacrifices on back-to-back pitches. 2 outs for Jacob Jablonski, a chance to get in another one at second. Jablonski walked his first time up and stole a base, his 15th on the season. Nubs one up the third base line, and foul. A long at-bat his last time up. Worked his way into a full count, a 7-pitch walk that started off the second. In the first and the second, the Coast had a runner in scoring position, but in the third is where they finally punch across first here. Next pitch misses in the dirt. Almost gets away from Aragon, but he keeps it around him. It's a 1-1 count. And why it's so important to score first for the Long Beach Coast specifically, even though there's a lot of baseball left in this game, anything can go either way. When Long Beach scores first, they are 39-4 on the season. 1-1 misses inside. And now Jablonski ahead of the count. Where they've trailed the last couple of nights, they lost one of those. They are exactly 500, 15-15. That's not the case tonight. With a 2-0 advantage here in the bottom of the third. Another one gets away from Ridley. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, ties his career high. And hopes to surpass it with out number 3 if he can get it here. But it's going to be a 3-1 count. And there's that pitch to Jablonski in the dirt for ball 4, his second walk of the day, his 5th on the series. I don't know if he's going to catch up with Eddie Pelk, but right now he's bumping up his on-base percentage all the same.
Well, Jablonski worked 3 walks in all of last week against Glacier, that 5-game setup, so he's definitely jumped back to it in this series here.
Bardwell has runners at first and second. And we know that in a 2-out situation, at least as of last night, he came up big. And he slashes one towards the hitting facility in right field for strike 1. Bardwell on this righty-on-righty matchup. The next pitch from Ridley misses high. A 1-1 count. Bardwell with 2 outs. His batting average is 353. A solid 2-out hitter. It's another line drive towards the first base party area. And now Ridley has a chance to finish things out here. He's already given up the lead, 2-0. This inning started off with 3 consecutive base runners. A single by Mata, a walk by Pelk, and a single by Kaufman. But the first run scored on a couple of errors. Bardowell takes the next pitch high. Now a 2-2 count. Ridley, the 2-2, slides outside. Not wanting to challenge a powerful hitter like Bardowell, who we spoke with earlier this series.
Yeah, today in the Beach Ball pregame report, he told us he was out for blood today.
On the ground and through the left side, past the dive of Dixon. Kaufman comes in to score the 3rd run of the game. Another RBI for Matthew Bardowell, this time on the single. Bardo had 3 on that one hit last night. So now 4 across his last 2 nights. Cooper Vest has a chance now with runners at first and third. Jablonski went first to third on that single by Bardowell. Struck out his first time up. And Bardo takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Across the first 2 games, specifically in the first 3 innings, the Long Beach Coast had only 3 hits of those 6 innings. And now Cooper Vest gets a good piece of wood towards left center, and the play is made on an incredible catch by Zeb Rose. A circus catch falling backwards at the warning track to match pace with what happened to him earlier in this game. He's slow to get up, but he does in fact get up, and it leaves 2 stranded. But 3 runs come across, some run support for Nick Bautista, who will take the mound, and Jesse Cook will take the mic through the next 3 when we come back on the Coast Media Network.
Rolling into the top of the 4th inning, Long Beach leading 3-0. Every single part of that 3 spot coming around in the bottom of the 3rd. Well, now to the top of the 4th. Jesse Cook with you on the mic. Joey Miller to my right. Nick Bautista on the mound, the right-hander pitching to a lefty, and Zach Chamizo. And oh boy, is it a beautiful day for baseball. Bautista kicks high. Chamizo swings and lifts it foul to the left side, out of play. 0-1 count for Chamizo, who began his day with a walk. He's batting .348. That's second on the team among qualifying batters, behind Andrew Kirchner's .359. Bautista whirls home, missing up high, 1-1. And while Chamizo might be behind Kirchner in the batting race, he is ahead of him in the order. Kirchner waiting on deck. Looking out towards center field, we're getting a cotton candy mix of pink skies, blue clouds. Next pitch lands for a strike, back door, 1-2 count. The lights are on around Blair Field, although unnecessary at the moment, even though the field is entirely shadowed. Bautista's 1-2. Fastball down by the shins for a 2-2 count. That salty smell coming in from the shoreline, not too far away. Bautista swang like a ship on that water on the first base side of the rubber, sets, turns on home. Chamizo bends but doesn't swing. However, Bautista breaks him for strike 3 on the curveball high and away. Back-to-back strikeouts, one ending the third, that one beginning the fourth. 3-0 Long Beach still your score in the top half of that fourth inning, with Andrew Kirchner coming up also on the left side.
It's an unconventionally quiet series for Zach Chamizo thus far, now 1 for 8 with just 2 walks.
Well, here comes Kirchner, who was anything besides quiet yesterday, at 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. First pitch, he watches that one high and outside for a 1-0 count. Kirchner 0 for 1 today. Bautista settling in, tan glove on his front hip. Now he sets once again, toes the rubber a couple times. Kicks up high, swung on and roped right up the middle. Kirchner flies up the runway to first base. Emilio Corona attacks in center field. Bobbles, throws back to the infield. Kirchner sneaks up to second and slides on top of the bag. A single with an error in center field. Kirchner boosting his way to second on the bobble. That brings up Kyle Carlson, a .280 hitter who flied out to center field last time up. So Kirchner now with 6 hits on the series. Walking in with a 6 for 11 line out on second base. Bautista tilts his head down, works home. Carlson winces at the fastball high and inside. 90 miles per hour there for ball 1. It's 3-0 Long Beach in the top of the fourth inning on this beautiful Thursday night. We are getting the type of sky you sit down to paint. 1-0. Swung on and nubbed to the back netting. 1-1 count on this calm series finale. Long Beach tacking on its first run in the first 3 innings since Friday over the last frame. An 8-batter array for the Coast, including 3 hits and a couple of errors on 1 play. Shortstop Anthony Amata made it home on a stolen base with 2 errors. Runner moving for third. Next pitch misses, blown away, no throw. Kirchner sneaks up to the hot corner. Just as we're talking about Anthony Mata's steal of second that brought him all the way home, Kirchner moves himself 90 feet away with his 5th steal on the season in just as many tries. Still 3-0 Long Beach, top 4, 1 away, now a man on third. Bautista staring home. Digs to the plate, bounced out to third, picked by Rosengard, starts towards home, but Crow hops to first instead. Kirchner scores, getting a good jump on that grounder. 3-1, Coast your score now with 2 away in the top of the 4th inning. Rosengard shrugged with a hefty sigh while looking towards home. He fielded that ball on a shallow pick, and it looked like he had a good chance to get Kirchner at the plate, but he didn't want to risk it. Either way, Long Beach still leads by a multi-run margin. 3-1. Diego Aragon at the plate on the left side. Bautista from the stretch, swinging a spiral to the backstop foul. 0-1 count. Aragon flied out to left field last time up. Bautista settles in one more time. Hand glove at the belt buckle, kicks up high. Swinging a tapper to second base. Charging in for that one and making the play, Spence Kaufman underhanding to Jacob Jablonski on the bag. 1 run comes home for Yuba-Sutter. Other than that, it's a hitless frame. Nick Bautista still working with the lead. 3-1 Long Beach. Heading back to the plate with 8-9-1 due up in Whittle, Mata, and Eddie Pelk. On the other side on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Bottom of the fourth inning on the way at Blair Field, with the Long Beach Coast leading the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds 3-1. And the Coast come up to the plate with a chance to do more damage after their 3 spot in the last inning. Jesse Cook with you on the mic, Joey Miller to my right. Out there on the mound for Yuba-Sutter, Luke Ridley pitching to David Whittle in a righty-righty affair. Whittle 0 for 1. Ridley sidesteps home and misses up high on the 86-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-0 the count now for Whittle, playing in his first game of this series. This is his first time catching Nick Bautista this season. 1-0. He swings and knocks it over the backstop out onto Park Avenue behind us for a 1-1 count. Whittle entered the game in Bautista's last start out in Glacier on Friday. He did that defensively in the later innings after the right-hander had left. 1-1. He watches the fastball at the knees for a strike. 1-2 count. So Whittle defensively seeing a new combination that he's really only caught in the bullpen, but at the plate facing a professional rookie like himself and Luke Ridley. His 1-2. Whittle watches, and he's frozen for strike 3. Fastball hits at 89 miles per hour on the outer half of the plate. 1 away, 3-1 Coast, bottom of the fourth. Base is empty for the 9-hitter Anthony Mata. And he's batting underneath a sky that I cannot stop thinking about.
Fine.
Baby blue up overhead, cotton candy, pink and purple clouds swaying across.
Fine, I'll take a picture.
Out of the windup, Mata watches, winces, and heads on to first as he's hit. Ridley issues a free base at the cost of a bruise for Anthony Mata, and he brings up the top of the order in Eddie Pelk, who walked last time up. And might be a picturesque sky like we're talking about, Joey, but Eddie Pelk, he has watched a lot of picture frame jobs go against the defense this season with 98 walks. The right-hander Ridley kicks low, moving for second. Mata. The pitch misses, no throw. Anthony Mata cannot be caught. Another stolen base, and he has been infallible this season. 25 for 25 on stolen base attempts, make him 2 for 2 on the evening. Although last time he elicited a stronger reaction, bringing home the game's first run. Next pitch to Pelk, misses low and outside. 2-0 count. Mata stole second. The throw headed into center field after he made his way to the base. Then the throw from center to third when he charged for the hot corner, sailed into the dugout to bring him home for the game's first run. 2-0. Pelk looks at a breaking ball that drops for a strike at 83 miles per hour. 2-1 count. Pelk, business as usual at the plate, setting the Pioneer League record for walks 2 weeks ago Sunday. Next pitch lands downstairs and away. 3-1 count. Well, he's got 99 hits, 98 free passes, and we've been wondering today, which will he reach first, 100 knocks or 100 walks? Well, he's making a case to even it up here, already with one free pass under his belt today. The 3-1, high and inside, and there he goes again. Like a James Taylor song, the walking man walks on by for the 99th time this season. Runners on first and second for Long Beach, leading 3-1 with one away in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes Spence Kaufman, and he might walk up to the Ghostbusters theme, but he's been anything except a ghost in this series, except for the fact that maybe he's haunting Yuba-Sutter. 6 hits in 10 at-bats, rather 6 hits and 11 at-bats on the weekday setup. Double steal, first pitch, called a strike, throw to second. Pelk dives in, and he is tagged. No! He skates under the slide. It looked like the shortstop, Devin Dixon, maybe it caught him on the foot, but both runners are safe. And Anthony Mata, for the second time this season as he rolls into third, has swiped 3 bags in a single game. Two men in scoring position for Long Beach, already ahead by a pair. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Spence Kaufman swinging in on the right side. And that purplish breeze overhead, cascading into a Long Beach rally. Infield in, 0-1. The curveball waves high and outside to make it a 1-1 count on the ball there. Deep purple off in the outfield. Over the Pacific Ocean, pink overhead. Next pitch in the dirt, 2-1 count. Well, waiting on deck is Benjamin Rosengard. He's 1 for 1 in this ball game, and Luke Ridley is threatening to load the bases for him. Kaufman, who joined the team on Monday as a result of a trade for a player to be named later to the Mobiles. He has made a statement in his first couple games with the Coast, reaching on a hit in every contest so far. He has a chance to do it multiple times in each of those setups. 2-1. Slider that heads up above the belt for ball 3. Infield still at the edge of the grass. 3-1. Kaufman stares at the curveball for a strike at his knees, and it's a full count. Long Beach leads 3-1. Anthony Mata on third, Eddie Pelk on second, first base unoccupied. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. The Coast with a chance to take the final game against the Freebirds this season. High leg kick, and that skips in the dirt. Bases loaded for Benjamin Rosengard. Spence Kaufman works his way aboard. Rosengard welcomed the fans to the ballpark with a message in Hebrew before the game, one of the 5 languages he speaks. Yuba-Sutter speaking the language of the bullpen, as here comes manager Frank Gonzalez, and he issues a point down to the left field Steve Traxel bullpen. The door remains closed at the moment. Now it's been opened, and here comes a new arm for the Freebirds. Luke Ridley's day is done, and he leaves the bases loaded for his replacement, a left-hander who looks to be Sean Weiss, but we'll confirm when we return on the other side of a break with the Long Beach Baseball Network. It's Weiss. He's wearing number 16. We can see it. Oh my goodness. I'll take it too. I would love that too. It says on the roster, but he's pitching. I mean, he's out there, so. Is he Jewish? You count. But thank you. I appreciate that. 3, 2, 1. Well, it's deja vu for Sean Weiss. Pitched on Tuesday, pitched on Wednesday, and now here he is in the early going for Yuba-Sutter in the bottom of the fourth. Long Beach leading 3-1 with the bases loaded for Benjamin Rosengard in a lefty-lefty affair. Weiss sets, kicks home. Rosengard watches the breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0 count. Luke Ridley leaves this game having allowed 3 runs so far on 4 hits. And he walks 2 in this inning, including a hit batsman, to set the bases where they are for Weiss, who yesterday dealt an inning, allowing 3 runs on 3 hits. He kicks home. Rosengard again watches. This time the fastball lands for a strike, 1-1 count. Rosengard 1 for 1 in this game, laying down a sacrifice bunt last time up to push a couple runners into scoring position to help towards that 3 spot that has the coast ahead. He lays his 2-piece auburn-barreled and gray-handled bat on his back shoulder, 1-1. He cuts and tips it to the backstop, 1-2 count. This is Jewish Heritage Night at the ballpark, and Benjamin Rosengard welcomed fans on the big screen with a message in Hebrew, one of the 5 languages that he speaks. Rosengard, a pentalinguist with English and Hebrew, of course, then Spanish, Chinese, and Japanese. He settles back in, back against the wall with the 1-2 count. The pitch, he swings, slaps it to deep left field. That one hanging up. It's caught by Rose. Anthony Mata tags from third, and he scores without a problem. Benjamin Rosengard adds an RBI into the mix, and it's 4-1 Long Beach here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 away. So Rosengard has 1 official at-bat through 3 plate appearances, every time doing something productive with a sac bunt last time up to advance the runners and a sacrifice fly, this time after his single in the first. Well, here comes Emilio Corona, batting with runners in scoring position. And what he did last time looked very similar to that. It was a sacrifice fly. His went to center. Lefty deals to righty, and he swings out ahead of the curveball, so it's an 0-1 count. Corona tapping both sides of the plate. And Joey, he's been the biggest batter against Yuba-Sutter this season, hasn't he?
Heading into this game with 32 hits.
0-1. Misses up high and away. Doesn't need to swing at pitches like that, but the Freebirds have definitely had trouble nesting in against him.
And he hasn't even had the most games against the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds, this being the 25th meeting of this Battle of the Birds.
Next pitch, he swings and pops it foul to the right side and out of play. 1-2 count. Corona appearing in 21, now 22 of these contests against Yuba-Sutter. The runner on second, Pelk. Spence Kaufman on first. Long Beach ahead by 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 away. 0-2 count. Corona crowding the plate at the back of the box. Next pitch, he swings and taps that one to third. Picked on a hop by Nunez, who throws to first and bounces it just in time. Lunging to make that pick, Kyle Carlson ends the inning. And Long Beach, despite loading the bases, only leaves with 1 run's support of extra damage. 4-1 still your score as we move on to the top of the 5th with the Cook Quiz around the corner here with the Long Beach Baseball Network. Time for the top of the 5th inning between Long Beach and Yuba-Sutter. Nick Bautista on the bump for the Coast with a 4-1 lead, taking on Devin Dixon, the 8-hitter for the Freebirds, followed by Isaac Nunez and Zebros at the top of the lineup. Dixon 1 for 1, laced a single to left field his last time up. And we've got our Cook Quiz this inning. We'll get the answer in the bottom half of the frame. But we're thinking about the relationship between the long ball and balls that never make their way out of the catcher's mitt. Bautista deals towards home. Dixon swings and pops it up. First base side and foul. Jacob Jablonski tracking over from first, and that is very far out of play. 0-1 count here. So 43 times in Major League history, a player has hit at least 50 home runs, but fewer than 60. And we're wondering, of those players, who recorded the highest number of walks after the 50th homer. And I bring that up because it is Jewish Heritage Night, and there's a connection to Hank Greenberg. 0-1. Fastball at 90 miles per hour lands above the belt. Hank Greenberg, nicknamed the Hebrew Hammer, of course, he came close. He hit 58 in, I believe it was 1938, but was the victim of a ton of walks at the end of the season. 1-1. Bending out of the way and stumbling is Dixon. Did he go around? No, says first base umpire and crew chief Ryan Blaberg. 2-1 the count now. Greenberg, an imposing bat for a Tigers team that had just won the World Series in 1935. 2-1, high and inside. Makes sense that pitchers would have danced around him, but did he record the highest number of walks after his 50th home run? We'll get the answer in the bottom half of this inning, but why don't you think about it? You can guess however you want. 3-1. Swung on and roped to center field. Emilio Corona in pursuit in front of the track. He makes the catch. Oh, that was a laser beam, 103 miles per hour off the bat, but it's hard to work around a guy like Emilio Corona, who you've seen on the bases steal 37 bags this year. That brings up Isaac Nunez. And if you'd like to play the Cook quiz, well, you can comment on our YouTube live stream, and I hope you do. You can also reach out on X at Long Beach Coast or at Jesse Cook TV. Righty-righty affair. Bautista shrugs, kicks up high. Nunez checks the swing and holds up. No, he went around. This time Blayberg once again gets the deferral from home plate umpire Keith Gibbs, and he decides to punch around. 0-1 count for 0-4-1 Nunez. He popped out to first last time up. The pitch, a breaking ball, landing for a strike low and inside. 0-2 from Bautista. Working towards a potential third strikeout on the game for him. And he has met some peaks and valleys in the K total department. Tan glove at the belt, works on home. That's downstairs and away, 1-2. So he enjoyed back-to-back outings with 9 strikeouts on July 17th and 24th against Yuba-Sutter, then the Mobiles. Then out in Ogden, no strikeouts in 6 1/3, 4 across his 4 innings against Glacier on Friday. Time called at the plate. Nunez adjusts his batting gloves. Bautista staring in. The New York native at the plate, 1-2. He cuts and taps at the third. Rosengard charging, fields at the ankle, sidearms to first in time. Benjamin Rosengard works it on to first on the run. Not the first time we've seen him make that play. Not the first time we've seen him do it in this ball game. Rosengard retired Kyle Carlson on a similar play in the 4th. Now he has Nunez's number, and Nick Bautista has retired 4 straight Freebirds. 2 away, top 5, 4-1 coast for the top of the order. Zeb Rose on the right side with a gradient bat. Out of the stretch. He swings and lifts this one out over towards short, picked by Anthony Mata. Throws to first in time. 1, 2, 3. Fly the Freebirds in the top of the 5th. Long Beach maintains its 3-run lead. Moving on to the bottom half of this frame, we'll get the answer to the Cook quiz with Jacob Jablonski, Matthew Bardowell, and Cooper Vest. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Coast on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Bottom of the 5th inning on the docket here in Long Beach, with the Coast leading 4-1 and coming up to the plate to try and do more damage against these Freebirds. Long Beach scoring in each of the last 2 frames. Jesse Cook with you on the mic, Joey Miller to my right. The new right-hander in the game for the Freebirds, Dylan Ravello, takes the mound, pitching to the switch hitter, Jacob Jablonski, who bends in on the left side here. Ravello making his 2nd appearance of this series. He stares on home and fires. Misses up high and away. Rather, Andrew Ravello. He dealt on Tuesday, just a third of an inning, allowing a pair of runs on 3 hits. Out of the windup, Jablonski watches. That's a fastball for a strike, blown away, 1-1 count. We're still playing the Cook quiz. This is a bit of a complicated one, so bear with me here. Ravello, black glove at the letters, looks on home and twists towards the plate once again with the 1-1. Jablonski swings and misses. 43 times in MLB history, a batter has slugged at least 50 home runs, but fewer than 60. Who recorded the highest number of walks after his 50th homer in this mix? We do have some guesses here in the press box, but make sure you tell us what you think. 1-2, Jablonski cuts and keeps himself alive with a foul ball painted down the left field line. Our friend Charlie Kresser goes with Aaron Judge. Assistant General Manager Jacob Jablonski guessing Matt Olson. 1-2, misses low and inside, rather Jacob Benaboo guessing Matt Olson. Jacob Jablonski at the plate. I'm sure that happens all the time. Then Ryan Matsukawa and August McAdoo have guessed Kyle Schwarber. Our friend Chad going with Barry Bonds as well. 2-2. That misses downstairs for a full count for Jablonski. Base is empty, nobody out. Top 5, 4-1 Coast. The payoff. Jablonski swings and tears this one into right field down the line. That one hops in front of Kirchner. Jablonski rounds first, going for 2, trying to sneak up. Throw to the bag is high, dives in safely. Jacob Jablonski, the ambush double there. He caught that one high and inside, poked it into right field, and Kirchner took his time getting to that ball. So Jablonski jets his way onto second.
Good way to turn in his hands and just get it the way of the pitch, the pulse side, and hit it nice and hard at 92 off the bat. Maybe a risky move to try and stretch it into 2, but it paid off.
Definitely works out for Long Beach there. Yeah, you said it. High risk, high reward. Well, Matthew Bardowell, definitely a high reward player. He told us before the game that he's out for blood this series. Well, now's his chance to show that off. Batting on the right side. Mound visit, a brief one as Diego Aragon chats with his pitcher and then rushes back.
Bardowell has had a really good plate approach. Outside of that first at-bat against Ridley, he has made pitchers pitch to him.
Next pitch misses in the dirt. That's pitched away from him and moves Jacob Jablonski over to third. So while he makes pitchers pitch to him, that doesn't always mean that they find their spot. And Ravello's wild pitch there hands Long Beach a chance to extend its lead with Jablonski 90 feet from home. 4-1 your score. Coast on top. Top of the 5th inning, nobody out. Infield in for Yuba-Sutter here. And I can give you some hints on the Cook quiz. Next pitch, batted out to third and into left field. Jablonski walks on home while Bardowell stampedes his way to first. 5-1 Long Beach on the single there. The Freebirds bring the infield in, and Bardowell knocks him out of their nest. Here comes Cooper Vest. Now, would you like some hints, Joey, on this Cook quiz?
I have one guess circulating in my head, only because we mentioned him earlier. It is tied to Jewish Heritage Night. Ryan Braun, the 2011 NL MVP. I'm not sure if he had 50 home runs, though.
First pitch to Cooper Vesta, fastball for a strike, 0-1 count. Well, I did mention that this was connected to Jewish Heritage Night because of what happened to Hank Greenberg during his historic season when he hit 58 home runs. 0-1. Vest swings and taps it foul down the first base side.
And I'm trying to go based on your thought process here, because if you're going to mention Hank Greenberg, the Hebrew Hammer, I just decided to bring up the other Hebrew Hammer.
It is not necessarily a Jewish player. I will say that. But I bring this up because Greenberg was very famously walked a lot at the end of that season. 58 home runs, big piece of a World Series winning team 3 years before. Why not? He hit 58 in 1938. Next pitch, Vest swings and cranks one high and deep to right field, but it hangs up in the inward wind. Kirchner camped out underneath, makes the catch. One away, bottom five. 5-1, Long Beach your score with one away and a runner on first. Greenberg, 1938, 58 homers. And I can tell you how many times he was walked after homer number 50, but that may not give you an idea of what the lead is, whether it's him or not. First pitch to David Whittle. He cuts and pops it up to the first base side, and Zach Chamizo, rather the second baseman Jordan Donahue, makes his way underneath. So very quickly, Joey, you're tasked here with making a guess. I'll give you some more hints, but Greenberg, 15 walks after his 50th, one of which was intentional. I will tell you that this player has a Hall of Fame case, but is not in at least yet.
I thought you weren't going to go with the obvious one that our friend here, Chad Martin, gave. That was also going to be my guess, Barry Bonds.
Well, Barry Bonds, definitely a good player. Anthony Mata cuts at the first pitch he sees and pops it up. In center field, making the catch is Cooper Hext. So let's save the answer for the top of the sixth inning. But it's a good one. There's a lot of stuff to talk about there. We'll be back with a 5-1 Coast lead. Matthew Bardwell punching through to bring home Jacob Jablonski. Long Beach headed to the field on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Well, Long Beach Coast keeps adding to its lead, ahead 5-1 now, entering the top of the sixth inning. Nick Bautista, the right-hander, on the mound for the Coast, pitching to a lefty and Jordan Donahue, the two-hitter in the order. First pitch on the way. Breaking ball that lands backdoor for a strike, 0-1 count. Donahue 0 for 2 in this game. To my right, Joey Miller. I'm Jesse Cook. Thank you for joining us as day curls in tonight at Blair Field in Long Beach, California. The salt water of the shoreline giving us a nice ocean breeze in. Bautista bends his next pitch downstairs to make it a 1-1 count. We never got the answer to the Cook quiz. We wondered, among the 43 times in Major League history a player has hit at least 50 home runs but fewer than 60, who recorded the highest number of walks after his 50th homer. Next pitch, a swing and a miss, 1-2 count. And we had a few good guesses floated. Aaron Judge, Matt Olson, Kyle Schwarber, Barry Bonds. But I'll tell you, it's none of those players. However, one of the teams is correct. Bautista settles in, his 1-2. Slider heads high and away, 2-2 count. And the answer, we have to go back to 2006 for Ryan Howard in his MVP season. 58 home runs, and he was walked 33 times after his 50th. 2-2. Donahue swings, tags that one up the middle. Anthony Mata fields it short at the ankles, rocks on to first for the out. Now, we bring up that question because Hank Greenberg in 1938, he's 8th on this list, by the way, hit 58 home runs, but was walked a ton at the end of the season, preventing him from tying up Babe Ruth's mark of 60, which at the time was the record. He was only walked 15 times after home run number 50. This is Jewish Heritage Night, so wanted to talk about the Hebrew Hammer. And there is an interesting connection here in Long Beach for the Queen Mary. That's important to bring up on Jewish Heritage Night. First pitch to Cooper Hex. The lefty squares to bunt and lays it down foul down the first base side. And this is a personal connection for me. So, Joey, have I told you how my great-grandfather came to this country?
You might have at one point, but
So,
refresh my mind.
Rabbi Leo Lichtenberg, he came to America as a part of a program by Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati in an attempt to help rabbinical students out of Nazi Germany before things really got bad. There were 5 students who were taken out in 1936. One of them was my great-grandfather. He came on a boat that nobody in our family can remember the name, but there was another one named Rabbi Wally Kelter. 0-1 count here for Hex. The pitch, he watches high and away, 1-1 count. And Rabbi Kelter, not only would he end up being the rabbi at Temple Israel Long Beach, which helped put on Jewish Heritage Night tonight, but he arrived on the Queen Mary. That's how he came to America. 1-1, swung on and blasted deep to right field. It's hanging up, though. Matthew Bartowell in front of the track makes the catch, and there are 2 away in the top of the 6th. 5-1, Long Beach. And not only is the Queen Mary now docked in Long Beach Harbor, but the ship that began as a member of the Royal Fleet, the RMS Queen Mary, it also was the first commercial vessel to hold a synagogue on board. Zach Chamizo batting on the left side. Bautista kicks high and fires the first pitch down over the shoelaces. 1-0 count. I have to thank Rabbi Fox of Temple Israel here in Long Beach for informing me of that. The Torah scroll on the Queen Mary from that initial synagogue was essentially discarded in a storage room, and Rabbi Kelter found it when the Queen Mary docked in Long Beach. Swing and a miss up high there. 1-1 count. And now that Torah scroll is the one used for Saturday services at Temple Israel, which I did not know. When I was looking for a synagogue out here, I just walked in on a Saturday and got to touch my prayer shawl to the Torah, not knowing that it had a deep familial connection to me with my great-grandfather. 2-1 count. And my grandmother, who now lives down in Encinitas, daughter of Rabbi Lichtenberg, shared all that information with me. And very happy to spend some time with her this summer and hear all about that. 2-1, swing and a miss. It's a 2-2 count. So that is a pretty unique connection for Long Beach's most famous landmark, the Queen Mary.
From the tree of life to the family tree of Jesse Cook.
Right on. L'chaim, I'll go with that. 2-2, swing and a miss. Well, Nick Bautista strikes out Zach Chamizo. Like you said earlier, Joe, he's left with bupkis. We move on to the bottom of the 6th inning after Bautista retires 8 straight. 5-1 Coast with the top of the order on the way in the bottom of the 6th on the Long Beach Baseball Network. The carousel of arms continues in the Yuba-Sutter bullpen, bringing out a new pitcher, the fourth of the game, and Eric Vassar, and it's only the bottom of the sixth inning. Long Beach leading 5-1. Jesse Cook with you on the mic, Joey Miller to my right. Eric Vassar, the right-hander, now out there on the mound for the visiting crew. Opposite the top of the order for Long Beach, and Eddie Pelk, who's already reached on a pair of walks. First pitch. Fastball misses low and inside. 1-0 count. And Pelk, who holds the Pioneer League record for walks at a set of 87, a mark he reached 2.5 weeks ago. Watches the 2-0 pitch miss. Watches the 1-0 pitch miss downstairs there for a 2-0 count. Now sits one shy of being the first player in the history of this league to reach triple digits in the free pass department. 99 hits and 99 walks. 2-0. He swings and taps it to the back netting. 2-1 count. Pelk, who began the season with 60 straight games reaching base, 75-game on-base streak dating back to last year with the Idaho Falls Chuckers. Now knocking on the doors of more history. He swings at the 2-1 and cracks it deep to right field. Oh, there is no doubt about it. Eddie Pelk launches it into the bullpen, and the Coast extend their lead to a 6-1 advantage. Oh, Eddie Pelk. The walking man might walk on by, but never forget the Pelk man delivers.
Talk about 100 with an exclamation point. We were talking about which one is he going to reach first. It looked like for a second he was heading towards his 100th walk. Well, nah, he sends his 100th hit over the Jared Weaver bullpen wall, and it was a no-doubter like you said.
Wow, 100 miles per hour off the bat as well. Second Long Beach Coast member to make his way to 100 hits after Emilio Corona reached that mark on Saturday in Glacier. Here's Spence Kaufman on the right side. First pitch. Vassar winds a breaking ball for a strike, low and away. And Vassar enters this ball game, his 10th appearance with Yuba-Sutter, with a 10.57 earned run average. The rookie kicks high. Kaufman swings and pops it up behind first base. Kyle Carlson backtracking towards the wall at the netting, and that is out of play off the middle of the mesh. 0-2 count for Kaufman. Well, Eddie Pelk has been consistent all year. Spence Kaufman has introduced himself with a similar mark of steadfastness at the plate. 2 hits on Tuesday, 3 yesterday, 1 today. Traded from the Mobiles on Monday for a player to be named later. Kaufman introducing himself to the Long Beach crowd in a big way. 0-2. Watches that one. Moving his hands up over the fastball for a 1-2 count. Vassar readying after dealing 1 shutout inning on Tuesday. Digs up high for his 1-2 to make it a 2-2 count. Righty-righty affair. Vassar in a closed-off stance. Whips on home. Drops that one downstairs and away. It's a full count for Kaufman. Base is empty. Nobody out. Bottom 6. 6-1 Long Beach, your score. Vassar shrugs. Here it is. Kaufman swings and keeps himself alive. Touches that one to the backstop. 3-2 count here. Kaufman alongside Cuba Bess, who's out of the lineup today. The only Coast hitters with affiliate experience. Playing about an hour and a half inland from here in Lake Elsinore. 3-2. That's in the dirt. Ball 4. Well, we were wondering maybe Eddie Pelk would reach for his 100th walk of the season. He hits a home run, but Spence Kaufman compensates. 1 on, 6-1 Coast. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes the first lefty for Vassar after Eddie Pelk's home run. Benjamin Rosengard at the plate, and he has produced in every single plate appearance so far today. A single in the first inning, sacrifice bunt moving runners into scoring position in the third, and a sac fly last time up. The first pitch winds outside and low on the 91-mile-per-hour heater. 1-0 count. We mentioned it earlier, how Rosengard is pentalingual. 1-0. Runner moving for second. Pitch misses inside. Kaufman dives. Throw to the bag way late. Long Beach gunning it up the bases so far today. That's the 5th swiped bag, rather 6th for Long Beach in this ball game. 1 away from the record set last week against Glacier on Wednesday of 7. But back to the 5 languages Rosengard speaks. English, of course, Hebrew, Mandarin, Japanese, and Spanish. 2-0. That's up high for a 3-0 count. And we did figure out how to say baseball in one of those languages. Rosengard introduced it as baseball. That's how you say it in Hebrew. Not too different from what we have in English. 3-0. Outside and high. And Rosengard says Dayenu on Jewish Heritage Night. Enough of these pitches and moves on to first base. Dayenu is Hebrew for enough. And it appears that Frank Gonzalez may have had Dayenu of Eric Vassar as he points off to the bullpen. The Yuba-Sutter manager moving out to the mound to relieve his pitcher after serving up a home run to Eddie Pelk, followed by back-to-back walks. We'll be back with the fresh face, the 5th pitcher of the day for the Freebirds when we return on the Long Beach Baseball Network. Opening up the camera gallery in this game to another new face and a new photo for Long Beach, as here comes the 5th pitcher for the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. Bottom of the 6th inning, carrying on with runners on first and second. 6-1 Coaster score. Eddie Pelk homering to lead off this frame. Emilio Corona now at the plate on the right side. He and Pelk are the only 2 players with 100 hits for Long Beach so far. Tristan Wolf, the new arm, fires the first pitch and forces a swing and miss. Corona chasing the slider. Wolf walking into this ball game with an ERA of 6.33, this being his 39th appearance of the season for the Freebirds. The right-hander reaches back and deals. Corona watches. That lands for a strike. 0-2 count. Corona has dug his way to 104 hits this season. Reached the big triple-digit marker on Saturday out in Kalispell, Montana, against the Glacier Range Riders. Wolf kicks up high, the 0-2. Corona swings inside out and pops it up to the first base side and out of play. Kyle Carlson started towards the warning track, but stopped while still on the grass. Watching that one fly up into the crowded stands. 6-1 Long Beach. Eddie Pelk's homer. making it 4 consecutive frames with a run for the hometown crew, 3 in the third inning, then 1 in each of the fourth, fifth, and now sixth. Spence Kaufman, the runner on second. Out on first, it's Benjamin Rosengard, both walking their way aboard. Nobody out. 0-2 again. Corona swings. Lifts this one to right field. Andrew Kirchner chasing out on the high arcing ball. He reaches out and makes the catch on the run and looks back Kaufman on second base. 1 away in the bottom of the sixth inning. 6-1 Long Beach. Jacob Jablonski has been an impossible out in this ball game. Here he comes. The switch hitter digging in on the left side. Once again, walked in the second, walked in the third, and then knocked what looked like a surefire single into right field last time up in the fifth, except turns out Jablonski has some wheels, and he chased his way up to second, watching Kirchner sort of lollygag to the ball in right. The right-hander Wolf settles in from the stretch. Fastball for a strike on the outer half. Jablonski waving his all-silver bat over his back shoulder. Wolf glances at second. Kaufman dancing off the bag. He starts for third. The pitch, a fastball for a strike. Throw to the hot corner. Tag applied. Too late. And that also moves Rosengard up to second. That is 8 steals in the ball game for the Coast, a team record. It was a 2-man job last week on Wednesday when Emilio Corona stole 4 and Anthony Mata stole 3 to set the team mark at 7 against the Range Riders. Well, Mata still has 3, and the Coast have now outdone themselves in this ball game. 0-2 count for Jablonski, 1 away, 6-1 Coast, bottom of the sixth. Infield in for Yuba-Sutter. High leg kick, misses outside and high, 1-2 count. 84 miles per hour on the bender there. Jablonski taps both sides of the plate. Now blends his ivory cleats with the muddied up chalk. Baby blue batting gloves at the base of his bat. Standing tall. Wolf out of the stretch. Swing and a miss. And finally, the Freebirds retire Jablonski after he starts out reaching base in each of his first 3 plate appearances. Well, they're 2 away now in the bottom of the sixth inning. Long Beach bringing up Matthew Bardowell. He has played a huge role for the Coast in this series. Yesterday, marking a 3-run double to give them their first lead. Today, 2 for 3 with a couple RBIs. Long Beach and Yuba-Sutter matching up for the final time this regular season. 24 meetings. Righty to righty. Fastball for a strike. Long Beach currently leading the season series at a 17-6 mark against these Freebirds. But Yuba-Sutter, with a win today, can take the last series between these two. 0-1, Bardowell swings and lifts it to the back netting. 0-2 count. 11-4, the Freebirds took victory on Tuesday. Long Beach, in its first game back from elevation, struggled, but found its way on top yesterday with an 8-5 W. 4 RBIs from Spence Kaufman. He's over on third. 3 of them from Matthew Bardowell. Runners on second and third. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Kristen Wolf enters the ball game, faces 3 batters, and shuts them all down. We move on to the top of the 7th inning. Kirchner, Carlson, and Aragon do up 5, 6, and 7 for the Freebirds with Joey Miller back on the mic to take you home tonight here on the Long Beach Baseball Network.
When it comes to run support through the first 2/3 of this ball game, it was nothing through the first 3 innings, but now Nick Bautista has had a good bump since that bottom of the 3rd, where the Coast have scored in every single inning since. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, it is 6-1. The score here in the top of the 7th. Andrew Kirchner will face off against that very starter, Nick Bautista, who's still in the game heading into the 7th. Kirchner with the yellow batting gloves and the blonde bat from the left side takes strike 1. Bautista faced the minimum in the past 2 innings. He has retired the last 8 in a row, having allowed 3 hits tonight. The last of which that reached came around to score. The first and only run that the Freebirds have. And now there's a called strike 2 on the off speed from Bautista. Kirchner calls for time. For Bautista, should he line up for finishing this inning, it would tie for his season longest. 0-2 misses inside. Now a 1-2 count on Kirchner, who was that hit that came around to score the lone run. He's 1 for 2 today, and that hit was his 6th on the series. He has done a lot of damage, especially if you recall in that early July series. A swing and a miss that's in the dirt. David Whittle gets it to first base for out number 1. That is the 4th strikeout of the day for Nick Bautista. On the drop third, but still an out recorded. Kyle Carlson will take the plate here. Tristan Wolf came in to relieve Eric Vassar just in the top part, rather the bottom part of the 6th inning, and pitched a clean 3. He's usually seen on the back end, but Frank Gonzalez just wanting to show his defense some mercy. Goes to his star. A called strike to Carlson, who is 0 for 2, 0 for 3 on the series, but 0 for 2 tonight. He got the RBI on the ground out, however. That scored Kirchner. And now he takes a breaking ball low and inside for a 1-1 count. This is the 4th appearance for Bautista against the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds in a Long Beach uniform. A ground ball, and it's missed off the glove of Rosengard. He tried to lay it, but it's going to be an E5 for a base runner, the first since Kirchner. That was 9 retired up until that point. The 2nd error of the day for the Coast. And on the other side, the Coast offense had been taking advantage of the now 3 errors from the Freebirds defense. Aragon swings through the first pitch fastball, tapering outside for another 0-1 count for Bautista. Consistency is the key for Bautista to try and keep pace, even if he loses the count after the next couple of pitches. And he misses outside on a very close fastball. 4-seam flat, low and outside at the knees of Aragon with his bright orange cleats to complement his orange catching guard, his chest protector, and his shins that match the color scheme, the new color scheme of the new rebrand of the Freebirds. Ball in the dirt. Now a 2-1 count. The Freebirds, who were once the High Wheelers for the previous 2 seasons, they've had 3 name rebrandings in the past 3 years. Jerome Williams and A.J. Crapo in the Coast dugout are familiar with those rebrands, as they were there for 2 of those 3 seasons. Jerome Williams, the pitching coach for the inaugural season of the Long Beach Coast, and A.J. Crapo, the quality control and assistant coach. previously with Yuba-Sutter. Pitch misses in, but it's going to be challenged. And it is a failed challenge for the Long Beach Coast. That's their first try on a challenge, and it's an unsuccessful one for a 3-1 count to Aragon. 0 for 2 tonight. Everything put in play by the catcher from Fort Collins, Colorado. He takes strike 2. Another one of those dead set fastballs that cuts from the middle part of the plate closer to his knees, but still in one of the 9 parts of the zone. 3-2 on the ground to Kaufman, who initiates a double play to end the inning. Once again, Bautista faces the minimum, and Kaufman showing off his leather as he has his bat over the past 3 nights for the shutdown inning. The third consecutive for Bautista. The score remains 6-1 heading into stretch time. We'll be right back.
Do you have any of Ryan yet? I'll grab one.
Stretch time is over, and the Long Beach Coast are just 6 outs away from recording their first series victory in the month of August. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook here from the booth at Blair Field. A pitch black night that started off 75 degrees and cloudy, one of the cooler games of this series. It was hot, it was humid in this press box, but today was a lovely 75 and a lovely score thus far with a 5-run advantage heading into the bottom of the 7th. Here's Cooper Vest to face off against Tristan Wolf heading into his second frame. A check swing, they refer down to third, and the third base umpire, Gary Gilman, says that Vest went around. There's strike 1. Vest, the DH tonight, is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Vest swings at the next pitch, and now he's quickly behind 0-2. 6 strikeouts on the coast tonight. Wolf is responsible for 2 of them just last inning when he came in a sticky situation. But he held the line. He misses there for a 1-2 count to Vest. High leg kick from Wolf, and Vest gets this one in the air to deep center field, but it hangs in time for Hext to retrace and retreat for out number 1. 0 for 4 line now for Vest. Whittle hoping not to fall to a similar fate. He is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Actually, no, it's not going to be Whittle. It's going to be Cuba Bess, who sat on the bench today to start this game. Now the RBI leader for the team has the bases clear with 1 out. Bess can catch, but We'll see if Whittle comes back into the contest here. A swing and a miss for Cuba Bass. The former Yuba-Sutter high wheeler facing off against his former team. A ground ball the other way, a diving stop from Nunez, spins around and gets it there in time for the Gold Glove play. Nunez, I saw this so many times last year when he was in his first professional season, and he is just absolutely stellar every single time I see him in front of me. What a play, Isaac. There's out number 2.
Well, he got a great jump on that ball, too. He was starting towards first base because it's a pull hitter and vest, so that's already where he was positioned further up the line, but then laid out and kept his shoulders squared to the baseball to make the turn easy.
Mata takes the first pitch, breaking ball inside for ball 1, and at the end of last year, Nunez requested a defensive highlight reel that I compiled for him, and there were almost too many options, just because of how many great plays up the middle there were when he was with Grand Junction in his first season. Next pitch misses inside again to Mata, who is 1 for 2 today. A hit by pitch. He is responsible for 2 of the now 6 runs for the Long Beach Coast that have plated. Up and in on the fastball. Mata stares down Wolf for a couple of seconds before he animates himself back in the box. A 3-0 count. He's been hit by the pitch, not by Wolf tonight. That was the starter Ridley. And now he's going to take a walk on 4 pitches for his second free base and his 3rd time reaching safely. Mata carries on this inning with 2 outs for the leadoff man, Eddie Pelk, who just crossed a triple-digit threshold. 100 hits in this season, and number 100 was capped off with an 100-mile-per-hour exit velocity home run over the right field wall. A called strike starts off his 5th plate appearance. 2 walks as well. Just 1 away from 100 in that category. Wolf settles from the stretch, hops off the mound, and quickly throws over to Carlson at first to make sure Mata is kept honest. For Eddie Pelk, in his last plate appearance, that was his 9th home run on the season. The GCU product. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. He joined the Idaho Falls Chuckers about halfway through the season last year for the playoff push. Pelk pelts this one back behind home plate. Some action in the bullpen. Looks to be Steven Ordorica, unmistakable in his submarine delivery. Bautista has gone 7 innings, tying his season high. But his pitch count is being worked up here. Mata heads to second. The throw down from Aragon is away from the glove of Dixon. 9 stolen bases now on the night for the Long Beach Coast.
And 4 for Anthony Mata ties up Emilio Corona's mark for the best individual swipe line.
History made for the Long Beach Coast, and they're still adding on to it. With a runner in scoring position and 2 outs, it's a 2-all count with a runner at second. Off the end of his bat, Dixon was working up the middle. He'll get it to first in time for out number 3 to leave Mata stranded. But Mata, what a night around the base paths. 4 stolen bases for him, and Bautista will, in fact, take the mound in the top of the 8th. When we come back, it is 6-1, Long Beach on top. Top of the 8th, Nick Bautista, 93 pitches through the first 7 innings. He's going to try and work through an 8th. Devin Dixon helps him out to start things with a swing and a miss on the changeup for strike 1. Dixon, one of the 3 hits for the Freebirds, who trail 6-1 in this series finale. And the matchup finale between these two teams for the regular season. There is still a playoff chance mathematically for the Freebirds, but right now they are second to last in the second half standings, looking unlikely to make the playoffs. A bunt on the third base side, and Bautista can't get it to first. It's going to be an infield single for Devin Dixon for his second on the night.
And it's the second infield bunt hit to the pitcher in this game. Cooper Hex had one in the first inning, but never came around to score. So Bautista has been tested defensively himself to go and use those training sessions that he uses running up and down the outfield track to go find that ball.
Isaac Nunez, the 9 spot in his third batting appearance. Hammers a ground ball into left field for his first hit of the night. Runners at first and second, and that's going to be it for Bautista after giving up back-to-back singles. Percy has had enough, and it'll be Steven Ordorica to replace him and try and finish out the 8th, but an incredible performance nonetheless for Nick Bautista, who goes 7+, 4 strikeouts, only 2 walks, and 5 hits, and a 6-1 lead to boot, in line for the victory should his bullpen carry him to the victory line. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network.
What you should do is give it to him in tomorrow's pregame show. He was walked 11 times after Homer 50, 17th out of the 43 guys up there. Ryan Howard 33 times. Pretty cool, right?
New pitcher for the first time tonight in the series finale between the Long Beach Coast and the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, and now Steven Ordorica on the mound. The rock skipper from La Puente, California, the submariner, will fire at Zeb Rose and miss outside. He showed bunt. This inning started off with a pair of singles that drew Nick Bautista out of the game after his 97th pitch, though he is still in line for a win after only allowing 1 run, and it was an unearned run. So no earned runs for Nick Bautista in this contest, trying to get back into the win category after his last outing was a loss on his season thus far. A called strike evens the count for Zeb Rose, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. One of the 2 walks that Nick Bautista had across his first 7 innings. The first baseman vest is drawn in, not covering the first base bag where Nunez is the trail runner. And the third pitch misses for ball 2. Ordorica nods at his new battery mate, David Whittle, who's back in the game after being pinch hit for by Cuba Bass just in the last half inning. And Ordorica misses high and outside for ball 3. Rose, a chance for potentially his 5th walk of the series. Ordorica goes at him with the 3-1 and finds the zone. Rose is going to challenge it. It's his second challenge attempt. His first was successful, and his second will be as well. To load up the bases, like we said, his 5th walk of the series, his 2nd on the day. And now a not so ideal situation with the bases loaded and nobody out. Still a 5-run lead, but not a spot that Steven Ordorica wanted to put himself in. Jordan Donahue, the 2 spot for the Freebirds, takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
And you mentioned that it's still a 5-run lead, but it's also still an 0-for-3 batter at the plate, too. Donahue has struggled in this game. If Ordorica can just pound the zone, he might be able to work around him.
1 for 7 on the series now as he slaps this one on the ground towards Kaufman. Gets it to Mata, but he has no play at first. He looks around. A run scores for the Freebirds, the first since the 4th inning on the fielder's choice. Now runners at first and third. Nunez advances on that one. The first earned run on the ticket of Bautista from the leadoff single by Devin Dixon. But out number 1 is recorded. Now Hext gets one through the left side. That'll score another run. His 2nd hit of the day. An RBI single. And he has been nothing short of a hex on the pitchers for the Long Beach Coast. That's his 5th RBI of the series. Albeit just on 2 swings. The other one a grand slam back on Tuesday night. Zach Chamizo to the plate with runners at first and second, and a 6-3 deficit now. Chamizo sends one to the third base parking lot for strike 1, a 2-time strikeout victim. Counts for half of Bautista's 4 strikeouts on the night. A walk back in the first for his 2nd walk on the series. Other than that, he's 1 for 9 on the series. Chamizo cracks one down the left field line, and it goes foul. Eddie Pelk has to chase that one down as it bounces onto the field of play. He'll toss it into the Steve Traxel bullpen, which we can't see right now, but I can't imagine is active, with Tristan Wolfe doing his job on the other side of the frame, holding off any offense for the Coast over the past 2 innings. And now Chamizo waves at his 3rd strikeout on the night. For Ordorica, that's his 1st. So 2 outs here and 2 on. 2 have come across for the Freebirds, trying to make a late comeback in this rubber match. The Freebirds have taken a series over the Long Beach Coast. Only 1, however. A foul ball back by Kirchner.
1 out of the 7 total series so far, this being the finish to the 8th.
That one was back on the July 4th weekend up in Marysville. Kirchner under it, into left center. Pelk in, makes the grab for out number 3. Ordorica gets all 3 outs in this 8th inning, but 2 come across, both on account of Nick Bautista, whose line is finished. And we'll send it to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 3-run advantage for the Coast at 6-3. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. The crowd getting hyped up by the loudest fan. I don't think I caught his name there, but
I think his name was Airhorn.
he's sounding like an air horn, getting the crowd hyped up late in this game. It's 6-3 now. The Freebirds get across a couple more, and now Rain Pfeiffer will come out to the mound to relieve Tristan Wolf. The middle reliever got 2 innings of work and allowed no runs to hold the line and allow his offense to add a little bit more run support. A couple of strikeouts as well. Spence Kaufman will be the first to face off against Rain Pfeiffer, who started the season with the Modesto Roadsters. And Kaufman fouls one back for strike one. So Kaufman started his season with a team that's likely not to make the playoffs, now comes to a team that is making the playoffs. Rain Pfeiffer, the other way around. Modesto looking to make the second half playoffs, or clinch a spot in the second half. And now he's with the Freebirds, who are second to last just over the Mobiles.
Yeah, Kaufman jumped ship out of a shopping cart into a Lamborghini.
1-1 in the air down the right field line in foul territory, and Kirchner hugs that line, makes the grab just a step inbounds for out number 1. I'm not sure how many Lamborghinis Spence Kaufman saw growing up in Corinth, Mississippi. Maybe a couple. I don't really know much about Corinth, Mississippi. You'll have to ask him. But Benjamin,
They got roads.
well, I can tell you where a lot of fancy cars are. Chicago, Illinois, the home place of Benjamin Rosengard. I know that because I just came from Chicago last week, and I saw a lot of really nice cars walking in downtown, which Rosengard gave me a few nice suggestions for places to eat, and I did, in fact, go to those. He is a bit of a tour guide or what have you, showing off his home state and his home city that he is very proud of. He's a big Chicago sports fan as well. 1-0, half swing. And Gary Gilman says he held up for a 2-0 count. Rosengard has reached twice today. Only one official at-bat, a single back in the first, 2 sacrifices, once a bunt back to the pitcher, and once on an RBI sac fly in the 4th. Then a walk in the 6th, and now he takes a strike for a 2-1 count. Rosengard, one of the faces of Jewish Heritage Night. He is, as far as we know, the only person who identifies as Jewish on this team. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Sirens in the distance off of Park Avenue on this timeout. Rosengard with 1 out, nobody on, with Rain Pfeiffer on the mound. 6-3, Coast on top. And it goes off the handle of his bat backwards for a carried on 2-2 count. We talked about how Rosengard speaks 5 languages. Well, this is his 5th plate appearance, the 5th time through the lineup for the Long Beach Coast. On the other side, they're just starting their 4th. The Freebirds, that is. Pitch misses on a breaking ball that Aragon is going to challenge behind home plate. And it is confirmed a ball, a failed challenge, and now the Freebirds are out of challenges. They run out back-to-back nights. They're 2 for 4 tonight. And they are done. Long Beach is 0 for 1. Rosengard has a full count now. And now his second walk. Base runner here in the bottom of the 8th for Emilio Corona. Corona, who's had a quiet night, 0 for 3, but an RBI on a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd. He's going to hope to pick it up here. Emilio Corona Had a hit last night. Or in his last appearance, rather. He did not play last night. Check swing, but he goes around for strike one. A double back in the 7th inning on Tuesday night was the last time he entered the hit column for his 32nd against the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. Breaking ball misses low to even up the count at 1 apiece. And for Corona, that's about 30% of his hits on the season, his 104 hits on the season, just against the Freebirds alone. Fouls one off the mask of Aragon. He rips it off. He's been damaged before in this series. Rosengard fouled a tip into his finger, which he told me got jammed. One of the reasons that he sat out yesterday. But he is all good and well for today. Corona now has a 2-strike count. There goes the runner, Rosengard, to second. The pitch misses, and for the first time in a very long time, the Coast have a caught stealing on the base paths. Clears up the bases without number 2. A 2-2 count now for Corona. 9 stolen bases. Not going to get the 10th there. Breaking ball just hits outside, but Corona's going to challenge it. The second attempt of a challenge. It's going to be a successful one at that. Corona is right on the money with that call. 1 for 2 now for the Coast, who have not had a successful challenge since Tuesday night, where they went 2 for 2. Full count, 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Coast. And Corona is going to end it himself anyways on a swing and a miss. Rain Pfeiffer faces the minimum despite the walk to Benjamin Rosengard. And now I'm sure we're about to hear some Ozzy Osbourne with this game, a 3-run lead heading into the 9th. We'll be right back here on the Coast Media Network.
What makes you say that? Huh. Man, I had no idea.
Well, there's the promised Ozzy Osbourne War Pigs for Zach Volker, who's going to try for back-to-back nights with a save and close out this 6-3 lead for the Coast. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook heading into the 9th, and he'll face off against Kyle Carlson, Diego Aragon, and Devin Dixon, who are due up A squat always starts things off for Volker before he gets into his wind for the first pitch that misses inside at 94. Just to check him, Kyle Carlson is 0 for 3 tonight, responsible for one of the 3 runs now for the Freebirds. 2 in the last inning that now allow Volker to potentially earn another save. He leads the league with 15 as of last night, a called strike. Right over the heart of the plate on the breaker. This is his 34th appearance. Volker with a 3.52 ERA. Gets Carlson to get this one off the end of his bat. Kaufman gets an excellent play onto first for out number 1. Dives to his left. Spins around glove side and gets it to Jablonski for out number 1.
Well, that's one of the most effective things that Volker has done for himself this season is trust his defense. He attacks the zone and forces contact like that. Sure, it's a little harder off the bat than I think he wanted, 104 miles per hour, but Spence Kaufman, with a Gold Glove effort behind him, reminds him why he's out there.
Diego Aragon will be the first lefty Volker faces tonight, and he takes low for ball 1. And like you said, yes, trusting his defense as he did last night for the 4-out save. Everything off the bat of Freebirds. No strikeouts for him last night. As this one's up the middle, Mata takes his time on the run to first, and now he's just an out away from his 16th save. Zach Volker, by the way, has 58 strikeouts now across his 39 innings of work completed. An excellent strikeout to walk ratio, only 24 walks. Now Devin Dixon is the last man standing in the last regular season game between the Long Beach Coast and the Yuba-Sutter Freebirds. The first pitch to Dixon, a fastball right over 2nd Street for strike 1. Dixon, a 2-hit day. One of 2 Freebirds with multiple hits of their total of 6, half of which were claimed just in the 8th last inning. Here's the 0-1. Foul ball towards the first base net, and now Volker just a pitch away from continuing to climb the ladder of Pioneer League history. Tied for 4th last night with Dan Kubiak of the Ogden Raptors in 2023. He can surpass him with just one more pitch. 0-2, a swing and a miss. There's 16 saves for Zach Volker. Series clinched, and the Freebirds sent on 2 straight losses, both at the hands of the Volcanator. With his 16th save, that ties him for 3rd all-time in the modern era with 2 former Grand Junction members, Trevin Reynolds of the Grand Junction Rockies, and last year, 2nd place in the save standings, Reese Miller. A lot of connections to Grand Junction because Reese Miller was managed by Frank Gonzalez, who now Volker sends home packing on the 6-3 loss. Good way to start off this 12-game homestand, and we'll tell you more about it on the other side of this break. 6-3 the final score. We'll be right back with the post-game show here on the Coast Media Network. post-game show here for the final time against the Freebirds. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, a 6-3 victory capped off by yet again a stellar performance by Zach Volker. Only 8 pitches needed to get through the top of the 9th, and the Freebirds are sent home on their 7th series loss of now 8 completed series. This will be the last time they face off against this Battle of the Birds matchup, likely because right now the Freebirds are now 7-20 in the second half standings, the second team to 20 losses in the second half. Long Beach Coast 18-9 now in the second half, 55-20 overall in this 2-hour and 43-minute performance. Nick Bautista, one of the guys you have to look to who held things down for the most part.
Absolutely. Bautista this season really struggled for the Oakland Ballers at the beginning of the year, but Long Beach saw something in him. Pitching coach Jerome Williams told us that there was one tweak he wanted to make, knowing that he could be that guy to make the return. And in Oakland, he dealt an 8.31 ERA, entering today's game with Long Beach down at 4.14. Bautista continues the good vibes. He has been unbelievable for the Coast. And whatever got fixed between that last appearance in Oakland and the first here in Long Beach, it has done wonders for Bautista. Third time digging into a 7-inning appearance, and this time he works his way through with just 5 hits total allowed, attacking the zone more and more lately.
And for the Freebirds, one of the biggest issues was getting runners on base, something that Bautista limited in those early innings. 3 hits through the first 7 innings of work on the Freebirds, who could only score 1 unearned run. That was back in the 4th, where they broke the shutout. But finally, for the first time this series, the Long Beach Coast were able to provide the run support first, scoring first in the bottom of the 3rd, and not just 1 but 3 across the plate. And that was thanks to an 8-batter effort against the starter Luke Ridley, who takes another loss in 3 1/3 innings pitched, 2 professional starts, and unfortunately for him, 2 professional losses. This is the 40th win now for the Long Beach Coast when they score first. They're 40-4 in that category. And at home, that is their 30th win here at Blair Field. And they'll have many more. As a matter of fact, we still have 9 to go in this homestand, and then 6 more a week after that final road trip of the regular season. It'll be Oakland. You mentioned Nick Bautista, his first team that he started the year with, who we will see in a 3-game set starting tomorrow night at 6:35. Beach Ball pregame show at 6:15. You'll want to tune in. And then next week, the Missoula Paddleheads come to Blair Field for the very first time, the very first matchup between the Mountain Region team and the newest Southern California Pioneer League franchise. 6-3 is the final score, and that's all I got for you right now. We will see you, like I said, tomorrow on the Beach Ball pregame show. Tune in, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now it's time for us to tune out. From Joey Miller, Jesse Cook to my left, from the press box at Blair Field, have a great Thursday afternoon.